Welcome back. This time we're talking about NBC's The Good Place, Season 2, Episode 6, The Trolley Problem. Now, unlike a lot of episodes in this show, this one has a pretty delineated A and B story, with Eleanor, Chidi, and Michael in the first, and Tahani, Jason, and Janet in the second. The A story gives the episode its title, with Chidi continuing to try to teach Michael about ethics. He seems to have gotten over his existential crisis from the previous episode, but still is not taking these lessons seriously. The latest being the trolley problem, an ethical question about that you're in control of a trolley heading toward 5 people which you're about to kill, and you have the opportunity to switch the tracks and kill just one person, although that person will die directly due to a decision that you made. And as he explains, there's lots of different versions of the problem, but Michael is just, doodling and making jokes. And Chidi calls him out on it. And ultimately, Michael sort of makes everything real world by creating simulations in which Chidi is forced to make these decisions, which have bloody and gruesome results. Surprisingly bloody results for a network sitcom. But I found it hilarious, even though it was also very violent and gruesome. Eventually, it's revealed that Michael has sort of relapsed and is intentionally torturing Chidi with these ethical dilemmas. This causes Chidi to essentially blow his lid, use the word forking, and banishes Michael from his classes. And this leads Eleanor to confront Michael, and with several moments of self-reflection that shows just how much growth this version of Eleanor has achieved through the help of Chidi, makes Michael realize that he's basically deflecting his own insecurities over the fact that he's just not good at this, and it's something that he's not used to, not being good at something. That ultimately leads to him making a half-hearted apology, a lot of bribes, including a shrimp machine for Eleanor, which was one of the funniest moments in the entire episode, and then ultimately making what Chidi accepts as a sincere apology. I still have no idea if that was actually sincere or not. It was well played by the actors and the writers. But this whole storyline was hilarious for the blood, for the shrimp, and just pretty much everything else that happens in this episode, while continuing the main plot line of trying to improve everyone so they have a chance to actually make it to the real good place. Meanwhile, the B story follows Tahani and Jason's growing relationship. I mentioned in the previous episode that I wasn't sure if this was just going to be a one-off or if they were actually going to try to make something out of it. For Jason, he really wants to make this a full-fledged relationship. Tahani, however, is not interested in anyone knowing about this. Talking about how Jason is really below her station, and how he's not anyone that she would have actually dated while living. And in a moment of growth for her character, she actually realizes just how horrible some of the things she says are, but only after she says that. Ultimately, Jason continues being the sage of this season and suggests that Tahani find someone she can talk to, and this ultimately leads her to Janet, who reads all of psychology in a few seconds and becomes a counselor first for Tahani and then for both of them. While she seems to be able to help their relationship grow stronger, even though Tahani still doesn't want anyone to know about it, the act of being a counselor seems to have broken Janet, and in turn the entire system, leading us to the cliffhanger ending in which Janet reports to Michael that something's terribly wrong, she's continuing to glitch, and she may end up destroying the entire neighborhood. I'm personally very curious to see if her glitching has to do, as she said earlier in the episode, her going beyond her usual programming, or something a little more personal, perhaps a little bit of jealousy seeping over from her original relationship with Jason, and presumably multiple other relationships, since a lot of the various resets seem to go in similar patterns. Perhaps she has actually been able to keep some of her memories, or at least her internal feelings for Jason, and seeing him in a relationship with Tahani might be causing some jealousy that could be leading to these glitches both in her system as well as the neighborhood. I really liked Jason and Janet's relationship in the first season. It seemed to come out of nowhere and then made perfect sense once it happened. And they were just really sweet together. Jason and Tahani, Tahani's still Tahani, so it's hard to kind of get behind their relationship, especially when she still won't let them go public. So it's not that I'm necessarily rooting against them. I just, at this point in time, still prefer Jason and Janet. So I'm really curious, again, if this is more of a jealousy thing than an actual system glitch. So we'll just have to wait and see. As always, this has been a solid second season. They've managed to continue to let the series grow and go in new and different directions, and be really, really funny. The entire sequence with the shrimp machine had me just laughing out loud, as well as the entire trolley sequence. Poor Chidi. I'm sorry, but I laughed really hard. So that's really my thoughts on this episode. It's pretty straightforward. A lot of fun, a lot of laughs, and some new developments, and a cliffhanger. So we'll just have to see where that goes. Now I'm going to turn it over to you. What did you think of this episode? And of the two stories, which was your favorite? As always, you can subscribe to my channel, check out some of my other reviews, and until next time, keep a hold of your thumbs.